Namaskaram, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. On behalf of Krishnamacharya Yoga Mandira, I welcome all of you to join me on day 7 of the Dhanur Dhya Sadhana. Let me start with the invocation. Shri Krishna Vagishayatishwarabhyam Samprapta Chakrankana Bhashya Saram Shri Nutna Rangendra Yatau Samarpita Swam Shri Krishnamaryam Guruvarya Mide Virodhe Kartike Mase Shatatara Kritodayam Yogacharyam Krishnamaryam Guruvaryamaham Bhaje Krishna Suri Daya Patram Jnana Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanatharyam Vandeham Yoga Deshikam Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Today, for today's practice, we will be looking at Pasurams 6 and 7 of the Tirupavai, which bring in some very beautiful imagery, specifically of birds, birds as a symbolism. Parakeets, you see parakeets as a repeating motif in the Nachiyar Tirumozhi of Andal. The parrot often is also shown in our traditional literature as representing the Sakhi, the friend of the Naika, and therefore takes also the place of the Guru, of the one to whom the heroine sheds her angst and who shows her the way to a solution. So there are many multi-layered interpretations of why the parrot or the parakeet becomes a repeated motif in some genres of Indian kavya and Indian of poetry. And here again, these two pasurams call attention to how nature comes alive in the early morning hours. Andal recreates for us the visual of how things would have been in Gokulam early in the day, as the cows are as milk is taken from the cows, as the gopikas go about their work, the hustle and bustle of life in an agrarian economy where one is necessarily living close to the earth. All of these images are brought out so beautifully in Pasuram 6 and Pasuram 7, where she calls attention to the morning sounds of the world waking up. And the sounds of these birds are as if they're calling out to Hari. And she says, "Oh, maiden, you are still asleep. Isn't it time for you to get up? Rouse yourself from this deep slumber." And so again, multi-layered, when we go into the symbolism, it is that call to satsanga, that there is a belief that whatever beautiful is to be experienced, it must be shared. And this is why Andal goes door to door, inviting others to join her on this celebration of Narayana, of Hari, of Keshava, as she says it. So we will take a quick look at Pasuram 6 and 7. Today, day 7 of Margari Margashirsha. The Pasuram for day 6. Pullum Silambinakkan Pullarayan Koyilil Vellai Vilisangin Peraravam Ketilayo Pillai Yerindirai Peimulai Nanjundu Kallat Chakadam Kalakkaliya Kalochi Vellattaravil Tuyilamarந்த Vittinai உள்ளத்துக் கொண்டு முனிவர்களும் யோகிகளும் மெல்ல எழுந்து அரி என்ற பேரரவம் உள்ளம் புகுந்து குளிர்ந்தேலோர் எம்பாவாய். Here you see from verse 6 onwards till 15, Andal seems to be waking up different categories of bhaktas. According to some interpretations, each of these Pasurams can be also mapped to a specific alvar, but when we go into it, there are a variety of interpretations, perspectives given by the different acharyas. She seems to be waking up different category stages of bhaktas who are in various stages of immersion, initiation, maturity in Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Anubhavam, Krishna Anubhuti. Specifically in this Pasuram, the girl addressed to seems to be a young novice, freshly brought into the celebration of Krishna. And so she is awoken. This imagery will continue both in the Tirupavai as also in the Tiruvenpavai. You'd have to imagine a dialogue with Andal or the heroine, the central heroine on the outside, knocking on the doors, calling out to the girl who's inside, who is still in a state of slumber or who is delaying coming out. And the person outside is asking the person inside to come out, to open the doors, to join the Goshti, to join the group as they go about singing the praises of Krishna. Here you see the first part says, "Oh, Pillai." The word used is Pillai, means a young girl. Don't you hear the sounds of the various birds that are chirping in the morning? Don't you hear the morning sounds? All these birds are flying around, and we see that from the temple, Vellai Vili Sangin Peraravam Kettilayo, the loud sound of the conch blowing in the early morning hours from the temple. Don't you hear this? Isn't this not entering your ears? Isn't it reminding you of that great Gopala of Vrindavan, the one who drank, who suckled from the poisoned breasts of Putana, signaling her end, destroying her? The destruction of Putana represents the destruction of our pride, of arrogance, of the ahamkara and the mamakara. Kallat Chakatam here is about a reference to Shakatasura, an asura who takes the form of a cart that and threatens to crush Krishna. Again, Krishna simply kicks the cart, which goes flying and is broken into shambles. And so here again, the reference is to the Kallat Chakatam, the idea of keeping us on our path, not letting us go astray. And so all of these beautiful images are looped in. And the chirping of the birds, repeatedly, you'll see this as a motif, is the iteration of the Vedas, of the Shrutis, of the Shastras, the blowing of the conch, because Krishna conch is the Panchajanya, and the sound of the conch is supposed to dispel all kinds of evil forces from the atmosphere. So it represents that the removal of impurity. The blowing of the conch is also a reminder to the power of the spoken word, of the Vak, because our entire tradition is one that is built on Vak. And so she says, the great yogis, the sages of yore, they are immersed in Harinama Smaranam, and they constantly iterate this, and from their state of Yoga Nidra, they come out of that, and in that exuberance, in that name of Hari, Mella எழுந்து Hari என்ற பேரரவம். Don't you hear that resounding chanting of Harinama? Shouldn't this enter your heart? Shouldn't go deep into your heart and rouse you out of your slumber? Oh, maiden, open the door quickly. Here you see, here she is a young initiate, not yet awoken to the entirety of the Bhagavata Anubhavam, the Anubhuti of Bhagavan and the power of his devotees. And so she is referenced here as Pilla, young, innocent, perhaps ignorant even. And a reminder is given of Krishna's glories, of the one who destroyed Putana, Shakatasura, the one who dispels our own ignorance, our own, whenever a task is taken, there will be many things that come up in the way that obstruct our progress and that make us digress into other things. And so it is anchoring our minds on Krishna that will keep us fixed on this path. Specifically, Kirtanam and Smaranam among the Navavida Bhakti are mentioned here. And she says, Hari Endra, the term Hari, we have seen this in one of my previous sessions. Harihi Harati Papani, says the Hariyakam of Prahlada. Yes, the sound Hari is capable of destroying all forms of Papa. And so she says, immerse yourself. Don't you hear sounds of Hari as they resonate from the mud and rouse you from your slumber? The next pasuk continues on the same thread of thought. கீச்சு கீச்சென்று எங்கும் ஆனை சாத்தான் கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டிலையோ பேய் பெண்ணே காசும் பிறப்பும் கலகலப்ப கைப்பேர்த்து வாச நறுங்குழல் ஆய்ச்சியர் மத்தினால் ஊசைப்படுத்த தயிர் அரவம் கேட்டிலையோ நாயக பெண் பிள்ளாய் நாராயணமூர்த்தி கேசவனை பாடவும் நீ கேட்டே கிடத்தியோ தேசமுடையாய் திரவேலோ எம்பாவாய். The birds here specifically, they are known as the Anai Chatan in Tamil, also known as the Bharadwaja birds. The Sanskrita, they seem to be conversing, they seem to be waking up, because one bird starts off to chirp and then you have a musical orchestra of all the other birds joining. Doesn't this sound that is reverberating around, doesn't it awaken you in spite of hearing this? Why are you in this deep slumber that you're so adamant to shake off? Can't you hear the sounds of Ayurpadi? Hear visual poetry that Andal creates through her words. She brings before us an image of Ayurpadi of Gokula. She says, can't you hear the morning sounds at Gokula, where these beautiful maidens that are adorned with lovely jewelry, with their locks, their beautiful locks of hair, are, as they have braided, the braids are unbraiding themselves with the effort that they are putting to churn the curd, to make it buttermilk, to extract the butter. And can you hear the sound of the churn and the sloshing of the curd as it is churned? Such a vivid picture that she portrays here. And all of these sounds are sounds of a Brindavana that is awaking to yet another day with Krishna, yet another day for the Gopikas of Brindavan to enjoy, to delight in the Leelas of Krishna. She addresses, what is very interesting here is that first she says, Pei penne, don't you realize what you're doing? But then Andal transfers that responsibility onto this girl who is inside, and she says, Nayaka pen pilla, you're young, but you are worthy of being the leader of our group, thereby placing accountability there. And she says, isn't it your job? Isn't it your duty to get up? Shouldn't you lead us in singing the praise of Keshava? As I mentioned, the idea of Sankirtana alone, just padi, constantly iterate, appears multiple times across the Tirupavai. Keshavanai padam. So the month of Margazhi is a time for singing the praise of Narayana as Keshava, as Hari, as Achyuta, as Madhava, as Govinda. And she says, don't you hear these sounds? We are all singing the names of Keshava, of Narayana, of Hari. Don't you hear this chorus? Does it not rouse you from your slumber? Why are you indifferent? Thus, open the door, come out and join us. Join us as a leader. Take charge. Lead us along with you, because you know the importance of Harinama in this Kali Yuga. So here, the devotee is not a novice. This is a different category. But yet, she is so much under the blanket of tamas that there is branta, there is a chitta vibhrama, there is a delusion, and she is in heavy and slumber because of the tamas. And so, Andal rouses her by giving her the control, giving her the charge of leading this entire pack of girls as they go around the streets singing of Krishna as they undertake and deepen their vrata, the Pavai Nombu. So this is the very beautiful part of Tirupavai. Again, every Pasuram is beautiful. Here you have so many motifs from nature of the birds chirping, you hear the sounds of, if you were to close your eyes, you visualize again an economy that thrives on agriculture and cattle rearing. You have the sounds of the cows moving, the gopi maidens that are churning, trying to make butter quickly. Um, um, in the early morning hours, the curd in Vrindavan is supposed to be so thick that it makes a sloshing sound as it is churned, and their bracelets and jewelry tinkle as they rapidly churn. So much of imagery that is not just visual, but you also have auditory images that are layered here in Andal's poetry. Now, this is the background. As I mentioned, this month of Margashirsha is a time for japa, for kirtana, for Hari Smarana. And so, for our focus in today's practice, we will use the Hari Ashtakam composed by Prahlada as the final part of the japa. For the preliminary part, we will focus on bringing to mind a visual of Sriman Narayana, of Hari, any visual that comes to your mind when you think of Narayana, any form of Narayana, be it Krishna or Vasudeva or Anantashayana, Sriranganatha, with the Shanka, the conch, the chakra, the discus of fire, the gada, the mace, the padma that is held. It can be Guruvairappa, it can be Krishna, it can be Rama, it could be any image of Hari that you hold in your mind as you go through this practice for today. I'd like you to close your eyes. We'll come back. We'll circle back to the Haryashtakam at the very end. I'll just take a minute to explain the meaning. Repeatedly, Prahlada in this verse, very beautiful, says that Hari, the words are so powerful that simply uttering it can destroy all kinds of papa, it can purify. That the term Hari is equal to Ganga, is equal to Gaya, is equal to going to Kashi, it is equal to taking a dip in any holy river. It is equivalent to visiting the Tirthas of Varanasi, of Kurukshetra, Naimisharanya. Whatever, all of these yatras are accomplished simply by chanting the term Hari. Of all the Tirthas that are here on the earth, the substratum for all of that is Harinama. And it is the chanting of Harinama is equivalent of giving thousands upon thousands of head of cattle in dhana. And if you were to give gold in dhana, all of this is, if you were to balance it, the power of Harinama is as much, if not more. It is the foundation of the Chaturveda. The chanting of Hari is equivalent to performing great Mahayagnas such as the Ashwamedha Yajna. And it is this that helps to overcome all manner of diseases and leads us to a safe, smooth transition. Prana Prayana Patheyam. At the time when life departs, the Nama of Hari helps us to transcend, to move over smoothly and leads us towards moksha. This is the sum and substance of the Haryashtakam that I will use for the practice today. The mantra we are using is Om Haraye Namaha. I'd like you to sit comfortably with your back straight, eyes closed, chin down. Take a few deep breaths. Deep breaths in and out. I will chant. Please repeat after me so that you're familiar with the mantra we are using. Om Haraye Namaha. 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 One more times. Om Haraye Namaha. Om Haraye Namaha. Om Haraye Namaha. Om Haraye Namaha. Now, I'd like you to focus on pranayama, Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. With your fingers in the Mrigi Mudra, place them on either side of the nose at the bridge. Inhale through the left nostril, hold your breath. Exhale through the right nostril. Again, inhale through the right nostril, hold your breath briefly, exhale through the left nostril. Now, as you do this, when you inhale, please chant Hari Om in your mind. On the inhale, Hari Om. Hold your breath, chant Om Haraye Namaha. Exhale, Hari Om. Again. So I will be chanting for you. Just keep your mind fixed on the chant. Those of you who can, please chant mentally along with me. If not, just listen. Harihi Om on the inhale, Om Haraye Namaha on the hold, Harihi Om on the exhale. Inhale through the left nostril. Harihi Om. Hold. Om Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Harihi Om. Inhale right. Harihi Om. Hold. Om Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Harihi Om. Inhale left. Harihi Om. Hold. Om Haraye Namaha. Exhale, right. Hari Om. Inhale, right. Hari Om. Hold. Om. Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Hold. Om. Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Right. Hari Om. Hold. Om. Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Hold. Om. Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Hold. Om. Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Hari Om. Again, inhale. Hari Om. Hold. Om. Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Hold. Om. Haraye Namaha. Exhale. Hari Om. Just take a few breaths. I'm going to be sharing an image of Sriman Narayana Hari. You could look at this image on the screen in front of you. Alternately, you can bring to your mind any image of Hari, of Narayana that holds an appeal to you, that you connect with. Try to look at the image either from the bottom to the top or from the top to the bottom. Try to bring every aspect of the image to your mind's eye. You could look at this image for a while, then close your eyes and bring to your mind the image of Hari, of Narayana, of Vasudeva. of Ranganatha, and try to fix your mind on this image. In the Bhagavad Gita, in Dhyana Yoga, Krishna says, fix your mind on me. On me here, remember, he means the Supreme, the Parabrahma Swarupam, Paravasudeva, the highest form. The one who simply by the outpouring of Anugraha, by grace, is able to help us tide through the ocean of suffering that life entails. So just hold this image in your mind or any other image. In your mind, go from bottom to top, Padadi Kesham or Keshadi Padam, and then hold this image in your mind's eye for a few minutes, eyes closed. As the Pasuram says, this name of Keshava, this name of Hari, and the image that it brings has to be within your heart. Ullam pugundu, kulirndelor empavai. We should hold that image. Let that nama reverberate in the chambers of the heart space. Keep this image in your mind. Envision yourself seated in the position of Hanuman at the very foot of Sriman Narayana. Simply visualize grace, Ishwara Anugraha. This is boundless compassion. This is the compassion, boundless compassion of the universe for all its creation. Benevolence, kindness, compassion, a cascade of love just flowing down from Vishnupada like the Ganga. The story goes that when Vishnu took the Trivikrama Avatara, as he raised his foot heavenward, he pierced the celestial realms and Akasha Ganga flew, penetrated into the heavens and touched Akasha Ganga, who started to flow down his legs. That is why she is known as Vishnupadi. So, like that, just envision that Ganga of love, because as the Hari Ashtakam says, it is Hari Nama itself that is Ganga and Gaya, that is Kashi and Naimisharanya. So simply visualize a cascade of grace flowing down foot of Narayana. Visualize yourself being seated in Hanuman's position, allowing that grace to fall on you. I will be chanting the Hari Ashtakam. Where I stop after every passage, please chant Om Haraye Namaha. And as you do so, simply visualize yourself being drenched in this cascade of divine grace. Harati papapi samsprisho dahatye vahi pavakaha. Om Haraye Namaha. Saganga sagaya setu sakashi saja pushkaram jihvagre vartate yasya harirityaksharadvayam. Om Haraye Namaha. वाराणस्यां कुरुक्षेत्रे नैमिषारण्य एव च यत्कृतं तेन येनोक्तं हरिरित्यक्षरद्वयम्. ॐ हरये नमः. पृथिव्या यानि तीर्थानि पुण्यान्यायतनानि च तानि सर्वाण्यशेषानि हरिरित्यक्षरद्वयम्. ॐ हरये नमः. गवाङ्कोटिसहस्राणि हेमकन्या सहस्रकम् दत्तं स्यात् तेन येनोक्तं हरिरित्यक्षरद्वयम्. ॐ हरये नमः. ऋग्वेदोऽध्यायजुर्वेदः सामवेदोऽप्यथर्वणः अधीतस्तेन येनोक्तं हरिरित्यक्षरद्वयम्. ॐ हरये नमः. अश्वमेधैर्महायज्ञैर्नरमेधैस्तथैव च इष्टं स्यात् तेन येनोक्तं हरिरित्यक्षरद्वयम्. ॐ हरये नमः. प्राणः प्रयाणपाथेयम् संसारव्याधिनाशनम् दुःखात्यन्तपरित्राणम् हरिरित्यक्षरद्वयम्. ॐ हरये नमः. बद्धः परिकरस्तेन मोक्षाय गमनं प्रति सकृदुच्चारितं येन हरिरित्यक्षरद्वयम्. ॐ हरये नमः. हर्यष्टकमिदं पुण्यं प्रातरुत्थाय यः पठेत् आयुष्यं बलमारोग्यं यशो वृद्धिश्रियावहम्। ॐ हरये नमः। ॐ हरये नमः। ॐ हरये नमः. Just stay with the same image for a minute longer as you visualize the cascade of divine, compassionate grace flowing down Hari's foot onto your head, drenching you in that cascade of love, of Ananda. In your mind, just chant Om Haraye Namaha mentally, just for a minute longer. Slowly offer your namaskarams, your prostrations at the feet of Hari, of Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, sublimating the ego at his feet. It is only as we put the buddhi down that our bhakti goes up. And the simplest way of doing that is to offer a namaskara, at least in your mind, as you bow down. I will be chanting the Kshama Shloka and the Satvika Tyaga. यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवा नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते श्रीमते नारायणाय नमो नमः कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।